This is the IELTS listening test. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 sections. Section 1. You will hear a telephone conversation between a receptionist at a sports center and a caller inquiring about membership. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Good morning, Westfield Sports Center. How can I help you?
Hi. I wanted to find out about joining the center, specifically for the pool.
Of course. We have 3 membership types. Standard is £38 per month. Pool access during off-peak hours only, before noon and after 8 p.m.
And peak times?
That's premium, £55 per month. Full access anytime, plus 2 guest passes per month.
Right. And the third option?
Family membership. 2 adults, up to 3 children, £79 a month. Children under 5 swim free regardless of membership.
Good to know. My daughter is 9. Are there lessons for her age group?
Junior classes, ages 6 to 12, run Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 5:30 and Saturday mornings at 9:15. The head instructor is Mr. Callum Bryce, BRYCE.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10. That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Currently about 3 weeks, but registering online by Thursday secures a January start. Parking. Members get 2 hours free in the adjacent NCP. Bring your ticket to reception. Postcode is NW4 7PL direct line 020-8847-3300.
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 2. In this section, you will hear a tour guide giving a talk at a heritage museum. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15.
Welcome to the Harwick Heritage Museum. My name is Elena Forrest, and I'll be your guide for the next 90 minutes. The museum was originally a Victorian textile mill built in 1868, operating until 1954. After dereliction, the local council purchased it in 1971 and opened it as a museum in 1979. The ground floor houses the Industrial Gallery. The spinning frames on the east side are original to 1868. The west side looms are 1910s replacements. The first floor's social history wing covers mill workers' lives. They lived within a quarter-mile radius of the building. Letters, photographs, and wage ledgers are on display.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
In the North Annex, Our temporary exhibition, Women in Industry, runs until March 14th, covering female mill workers from 1880 to 1945. Photography is permitted everywhere except the temporary exhibition. Flash photography can damage original documents on loan from the National Archive. The museum cafe closes at 4:30 p.m., half an hour before the museum. The gift shop remains open until 5:30.
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Section 3. You will hear two university students discussing an assignment on urban green spaces with their tutor. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
So, Priya, Marcus, 2 weeks on this urban greenery assignment. Where are you at with this?
The literature broadly divides into two camps. One argues green spaces have measurable mental health benefits. The other says evidence is correlational, not causal.
Yes, the main flaw is self-selection bias. People who seek out green areas may already be more health conscious.
Did you examine the methodology critically?
Yes, the main flaw is self-selection bias. People who seek out green areas may already be more health conscious.
Exactly. What about the economic arguments?
Property values within 500 meters of a city park tend to be 8 to 12% higher, according to 3 UK studies.
Before you hear the rest of the discussion, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
But a 2021 paper argues green spaces in low-income areas can accelerate gentrification, displacing original residents, so the benefit isn't evenly distributed.
Good nuance. For methodology, what approach are you planning?
Mixed methods, quantitative park usage data from the city council, plus semi-structured interviews from 2 neighborhoods.
Good. I'd recommend a minimum of 40 interviews, 20 from each neighborhood. Also reference the National Planning Policy Framework in your literature review.
That is the end of section 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to Section 4. Section 4. You will hear a university lecture on deep-sea bioluminescence. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Today we examine bioluminescence in the deep ocean, the production of light by organisms through chemical reactions involving luciferin, oxidized by the enzyme luciferase. The reaction produces virtually no heat, hence the term cold light. An estimated 76% of deep-sea organisms produce bioluminescent light, though this figure is likely an underestimate. Below 200 meters, the twilight zone, sunlight is negligible and bioluminescence becomes the primary light source. Function 1. Counterillumination. Some fish emit light from their undersides to match downwelling ambient light, making them invisible to predators below. Function 2. Luring prey. The anglerfish uses a modified dorsal spine called the esker. It glows, attracting small fish towards the anglerfish's mouth. Function 3. Communication and mating. Male astrocards produce precise patterns of light pulses to attract females, a species-specific Morse code. Bioluminescent proteins now have biomedical applications. Green fluorescent protein, originally isolated from the jellyfish Euphoria victoria, is used to tag cancer cells in real time. The scientists who developed this, Chalfie, Shimomura, and Cyan, received the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 2008. Threats. Deep-sea mining for manganese nodules and rare earth minerals disrupt sediment layers, smothering seafloor organisms. Additionally, light pollution from surface vessels interferes with bioluminescent signaling.
That is the end of section 4. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
That is the end of the listening test. Check your answers. Comment your score. All the best, my dear fellow student. Your hard work will pay off one day.